This is not a headline I would have predicted over 2 years ago, but here we are. Catherine Connolly wins Ireland's presidential election by a landslide, 63% of the vote share. She's a left-wing 68-year-old Irish woman and most notably openly pro-Palestinian. Oh snap. Her campaign was especially popular amongst young people who approved of her strong pro-Palestine stance and her commitment to social justice, among other issues. It's another example of how even in the Western world, which was the last bastion really, the rest of the world is more on the pro-Palestine cause than the Western world. But even in the Western world, the Palestinian cause has really gained traction. Turns out people are not blind, and the new frontier media, or social media, which is the conventional term for it, this new social media age we live in makes it much harder for special interest groups to lie to the masses. It makes it much harder for states to control the narrative in the exact way they would like, to tailor the reality of their citizens as cherry-picked as it would have been possible to do so in the past. It's hard to convince someone, after all, when your narrative contradicts literal first-hand video footage of what's going on, sometimes live somewhere else. So when your state says the sky is green and you're looking at video of the sky being blue, you say, I call BS on the state narrative. So many people are going through that, or have gone through that experience, especially in the last 2 years, in the, at least on the Israel-Palestine matter, conflict. Now, Connolly of Ireland is the 10th president of the Irish Republic, and for those who don't know, the Irish are actually at the forefront of the fight for Palestinian rights. They're very outspoken. Look it up if you don't know about Ireland's very pro-Palestinian stance. Turns out being under British oppression for decades gives people a taste of colonial projection, oppression, injustice. You realize, oh, these are familiar flavors. You know, once you know that flavor, well, all those flavors taste the same in historic Palestine as it does in Ireland, I guess. So they can tell. They taste it and they're like, this is familiar to me. I've come across this. Our parents, our grandparents came across this and taught us about it. A final point. The Irish president does not actually hold executive powers. I just want to bring this conversation back down to earth. Don't get too gassed. I'm not here to be a hype man. I'd rather give you the bitter truth than the sweet lie. Not that there's any bitter truth or sweet lie here. This is quite run-of-the-mill news reporting, but I just want to clarify. The Prime Minister in Ireland is the one who has executive or legislative power, real political power. The president is mostly symbolic. It's a figurehead role, really. Ironically, the setup is similar to Israel, where Israel has a president, I think Isaac Herzog at the moment, but they have a prime minister who is more prominent, more well-known, and more important politically, which is Benny Netanyahu. Now, Connolly, she's there, like any Irish president, for the figurehead role, right? For state visits and national addresses. But for lawmaking, others have more power. But of course, having a person with her political and foreign policy opinions as president of a Western nation is not nothing. Is not something. Is not nothing. It's no small thing, I'm saying. The tide continues to turn on Israel-Palestine in the favor of the latter. State by state, even in the West. Official by official, even in the West. Citizen by citizen, becoming more informed of the reality on the ground, even in the West. The trajectory is unmistakable, for better or worse, because people have opposing viewpoints, of course. Where will it lead? Will it lead to Palestinian statehood? Will it lead to peace in the Holy Land, as it were, after over 7 decades of turmoil? For the ordinary people of that land, for the natives of that land, we can hope for the best, of course, for their safety, for their security, for their life, for their liberty, and for their pursuit of happiness. Keep learning that you may one day take action to be able to mold the world into a better world for which you are yearning. Whether successful or not, that, at least for me, is a fight worth fighting. And for the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz. known as NewsBaba in some parts. And I'll see you on the next one.